Hey everybody, welcome back to the Daily Fan Racing YouTube channel. I'm your host, GordoGambles, and welcome back to another full card breakdown. This time, we're talking about Richmond. We are breaking down another Cup Series video. We got ourselves not only joined once again by Jason back in the channel, the three of us, but we got a guest. We have ourselves Mr. Mark Harris from Skybox NASCAR. You can follow him on Twitter at Skybox NASCAR, but also he's got a nice little podcast called Laying Coin. Make sure to go check that out down below. Welcome to the show, Mark. How are we doing?
Dude, we're doing great. I had a Denny Hamlin ticket, so I've been skying high the last few days. My co-host, Rory Picks on Laying Coin, is a big Larson fan, had a Larson ticket, and we bantered this week. But I'm doing good, man. I always love, my boy Rye, let's go. I love coming on shows, and I'm really looking forward to tonight. And Richmond's one of my favorite tracks to bet, so looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to breaking it down as well. And for those who didn't know, we didn't have Jason with us last week. So I was Jason. For those who can't even comprehend it, yeah, I was Jason. It was tough. And we gave out, I'm saying we, because I'm taking partial credit for this. We gave out Denny Hamlin as well. That was our winner. So I assume you must have had a good week then, Jason. How was it for you last week?
Yeah, last week was really good. Like I said, I did have Denny Hamlin pick the winner on here. I was holding a Denny Hamlin ticket as well, so it was good to see that cross the line. I mean, even though it kind of hurt my DFS lineups, I did have a Larson lineup that was up towards the top, towards the end, so that cut kind of double-edged sword there. You know, I got to cash that ticket, but it hurt my DFS lineup. But all in all, was a pretty solid day. Both lineups I made cashed. Had the Denny Hamlin ticket, Xfinity Series crushed. Had my first takedown in a while. Finally busted through an Xfinity. I mean, I also had had Hill outright, had Hill top 3 bet, had Meyer top 3. Just was one of the most beautiful days ever. Like one of the days that make you feel like you actually know what the hell you're doing. So yeah, good weekend.
All right. And then last but not least, we have the man himself, Ryan Larkin. How are we doing? Was it as good for you as everybody else? Because I even did pretty well in some DraftKings lineups too.
No, I lost money.
Yeah,
I was all over Larson on Sunday. That killed me. And then I don't know what the hell happened on Saturday.
Josh Berry.
No,
that was a tough one.
Yeah, no, I was on Berry pretty. Oh, yeah, he wrecked. That's right.
Yeah,
he wrecked. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember him dominating. I must have blocked out the wreck. So I might have it up, but yeah, that was it. You're right. Okay, cool. So yeah, I lost a bunch of money, but we had some good takedowns and stuff. Dustin got his first ever takedown, which was cool. He got the Chrome Hornet Xfinity race and some things like that are still encouraging and exciting. For me personally, though, it sucked.
Nah, we move on. We got Richmond ahead, and it's not the one we got to break down. I mean, don't ask me about UFC last week, and I'm still going to talk about the pay-per-view this weekend. Who cares about that? So we are going to move forward to it. We do have ourselves a fun race to talk about. Before we dive into it, guys, make sure to hit like button down below, subscribe to the channel. We'll be going not over only the course description, but also our lineup construction and then some drivers to watch throughout the rest of the week. If you have any comments or concerns or want to say how good Ryan's hat looks, put that in the comment section right there. I'll be happy to address it down the road. Let's get started, though. We are going to be talking about Richmond here, and I think there's no better way to introduce the course itself than our guest here. Mark, take it away. What does Richmond entail this weekend, and are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, absolutely looking forward to it. We got the Cookout 400, one of my favorite restaurants to eat at, one of the cheapest bang for your buck burger, quesadilla, whatever you want to get with a milkshake. Phenomenal. 3 p.m. start time, advertised this upcoming Sunday. Actual green flag time, 3:16 p.m., which is not bad compared to some other places that we go. We got 300 miles, 400 laps, stage 1 being 70 laps, stage 2, 160 laps, and the final stage, 170 laps. Couple quick nuggets for you guys. There have been 133 Cup races held at Richmond. That blew my mind. I think Martinsville's got more, but it can't be by much. Chevy has the most wins here with 40, which is a big number in my opinion. Current driver with the most wins, Kyle Busch with 6. And obviously the most recent winner this spring, Kyle Larson, led 4 times for 93 laps. And I thought this one was a little interesting. Of the last 10 races at Richmond, Toyota has won 6 of them. And I guarantee that all 6 of them were called the Toyota Owners 400. So I'm really looking forward to Richmond this weekend. One of my favorite tracks to bet. We got some tire strategy. We got, are they going to stop once? They're going to stop twice. Maybe we figured that out. Maybe we haven't. I'm a live betting guy. I love to live bet. So looking forward to that. And looking forward to learning something from you guys. So absolutely looking forward to it this weekend.
All right. Speaking of learning something, let's get into some lineup construction talk right off the bat. We're going to pass you to you, Jason, because I've missed hearing your voice last week. We do have 400 laps at stake here. So tell me what the construction looks like here. And are we targeting those dominators this week?
I did not know that the cookout was an actual business this whole time. I thought Cookout 400 was like the Firecracker 400. This is like summertime is the Cookout 400.
I didn't north. Okay.
I didn't know it was a business. I just now learned something.
Join us in the South.
Wow, fun time.
It's hot enough, man. It's okay.
If you're looking to spend $8 and evacuate your bowels, go to Cookout. You'll do good.
All right, I'll try to try down if I'm down south. All right, so obviously, we're going to talk DraftKings here, right? I'm excited about the race as well. It's going to be a fun race. Short flat track's awesome fun. Got some tire wear. The big thing we're going to talk about, we've talked about it a lot at short flat tracks this year, is track position is going to be king, right? Here we go. Look at where points are scored here. We got 48% of the top 8 scorers on DraftKings in the last 8 races here all came from guys starting inside the top 5, right? So, that's again, I'm inside the top 10. You're going to be looking towards the front of the field. That's where all the points are scored. And the big reason for that is we got 400 laps in today's race, which is going to put a huge emphasis on those dominator points, right? In the last 8 Richmond races here, we've seen 32 performances by drivers of over 20 dominator points. The race in the spring here, we had 5 guys score over 20 dominator points. All of those but one finished inside the top 8 in DraftKings scoring. So a lot of opportunity for guys to score a lot of points with these laps. 26 of those 32 dominator performances came from guys starting inside the top 10. Drivers starting inside the top 5 account for 19 of those performances, and they've accounted for 47% of all the dominator points scored in the last 8 races here at Richmond. So the top 5 has scored a ton of dominator points here. Primarily, you can even look at the pole sitter, right? Pole sitter has scored 20-plus dominator points in 5 of the 8 races here. All 5 instances, has scored more than 15 dominator points in 7 of 8. Lone exception being Bowman in the spring. Obviously, we didn't have qualifying, right? So we had the random starting, and that didn't play out there for Bowman in the spring. But pole sitter has been a good source of PD of dominator points, along with the rest of the front row. Second place starters scored 20-plus dominator points in 5 of 8 races, and top scorer 3 times in those races as well. So look towards the front of the field. It's going to be the main focus for your lineups this week. It's not going to be the week to chase those position differential. We really want to spend up for those dominator points and look towards those guys starting towards the front.
Spend up for the dominators. Noted. Ryan, do you agree with that, or are you just not happy to have Jason back? What's your thoughts here, man? Break it down for us.
I'm a miserable person in life, but
we know.
Still happy to have Jason back. Thank you, Jason, for showing up this week. Appreciate it.
Did I get fired from my job then?
Almost about 15 minutes before the show started. But no, yes, 100% what Jason said. There is a ton of dominator points on the table. And the best part about this track is long green flag runs. Mark touched on it for a little bit. There's probably going to be pit strategy, and that's due to just long green flag runs. We actually get the opportunity to see tire fall off matter. We get to see strategy come into play. So because of that, once you get out front, it's really hard to pass the leader, and those guys just check out. There's not going to be a ton of pit stops to shuffle that up where everyone's come down under caution. It's pretty much they have to pass them on track. So that really lends itself to a guy just checking out, crushing for a while. And then fast laps are probably the biggest thing, which are hidden gems, so to speak, or what I consider hidden gems when building lineups, is, a guy like Kevin Harvick, who I don't think will win this race, but I do think will finish top 5. He's a guy that can go out there and grab 40, fast laps, 50 fast laps, and add a bunch of dominator points to his total without ever touching the lead. There's a lot of those type of variables as well at this track to key in on. And then at that point, because I'm chasing those top end drivers, I'm really okay punting on the back end as well. Top 8 scores aren't necessarily as important to me. I may be looking to get the 25th best score to round out my lineup. So definitely in on the dominators, definitely in on the guy starting at the front that, you qualify good here, you're usually good. So I expect good things from anyone starting up front.
Yeah, this is not a race where you feel like you're going to have to pay up for those position differential points. Like if you're paying up for a guy this week, it can't just be for PD points. He's got to be able to to provide some dominator upside as well. And even still, like there's going to be some attractive, position differential type plays in that 8,000 range that probably going to want to pass on this week and just spend up and go for a dominator upside. And like Ryan said, just punt down. Stars and scrubs type approach this week.
Stars and scrubs. Well, I'll be more than happy to take over the scrubs part of that sentence there. And we'll move on to our drivers to watch. We do have ourselves 3 panel members, which means we have ourselves 9 drivers to watch, including winners. So that's 12 drivers we're going to talk about in total. And we're going to go over them. As we always say, these are drivers to watch, not necessarily target, because we haven't seen qualifying. We haven't seen how they're going to go out there and practice. There is a lot left to see. But these are the drivers that these 3 are keeping their eye on. I almost said us. These 3 are keeping their eye on. I'm just here to look pretty and intro it. So why don't I do just that, guys? Make sure to hit the like button down below, subscribe to the channel. We're going to start off with our guest down below. Mark, give us your high tier or top tier driver to watch this weekend and tell us a bit about him.
It's Kevin Harvick. Ryan referenced him. You just can't go wrong. Whatever stat that you want to look at, whatever stat you want to bring up, Kevin Harvick has got it at Richmond, and he's got it on comparable tracks. And I'm looking at obviously Richmond in the spring, a little bit of Richmond last year. I know the package has changed a little bit. Looking at Phoenix, a little bit of Martinsville, looking at New Hampshire a couple weeks ago. And so when I reference some of these numbers, they're all going to be a conglomerate of comparable tracks. And Kevin Harvick, his average running position, his worst average running position is 8.3. And that was at Richmond in the spring this year. So we know he's going to be up at the front. He's got double-digit fastest laps at all 5 of the races that we've been to on comparable tracks. His percentage of laps in the top 15, the lowest number is 83%. So Kevin Harvick is a guy that may not go out and lead 150 laps in this Stewart-Haas car that has been prepared for him over the last couple of years, the next gen. But we know for a fact, like you said it, Ryan, when we get late in these runs, Kevin Harvick knows how to manage his tires. He's going to run fast laps. Even if he's in 12th, if he's in 14th, he's going to run fast laps at the end of these green flag runs. And Richmond is a perfect place to manage your tires, to take a veteran, to bet on a veteran, to do just that. So while he's a little expensive, I think it's warranted. And I like what you guys are talking about, stars and scrubs, right? I'm a scrub in real life, like you were talking about. But I look at Kevin Harvick as an absolute star this week. I look at models, Highline Betting and wintherace.info, and I look at a lot of different models essentially, and they all have Harvick in the top 3, the top 4, the top 5. So I expect Kevin Harvick to show up, to bring it, and run, frankly, inside the top 5 this week.
Yeah, that doesn't seem too bad. You've been talking so much betting. I wanted to pull it up there. Harvick is minus 240 to finish in the top 10, plus 120 to finish in the top 5, and plus 1,000 overall. Certainly seems like he got some good some money behind him. And this is a DraftKings show. I don't mind talking to betting there as well. So we're gonna go over to Jason next, and you know what? I'm gonna keep these betting odds up here and see if you concur there, Jason. Who is your top tier driver to watch, and does he have as good of odds to get it done?
Yeah, it's a great pick there with Harvick there. It's like I said, no matter what model you look at or how you model this race, Harvick's going to pop up towards the top of that favorites for everybody. But a guy who might pop up on some models, who might draw some attention this week, who I'm probably going to stay away from this week as my driver to watch, is going to be Kyle Busch, right? I already hear some rumbling about Kyle Busch out there. But RCR has been terrible on this track type, and it's really been showing on Kyle's results here. If you look at the 3 comparable tracks on this package in 2023, Phoenix, Richmond, New Hampshire, I know Mark's already referenced them. Kyle's driver rating on those 3 tracks is 63, average running position 20.67. Oh. I think that his win at Gateway, it's going to draw some attention to him this week. You already see that. DraftKings priced him up at 10,400. Like, he's coming in at his odds are even with Byron as far as win, which is freaking crazy to me. Like, he's lower odds than Christopher Bell. Like, where is this coming from? I saw, I even was just scrolling through as a head-to-head with him and Elliott. Elliott's getting plus 100 on DraftKings. Like, I hammered that. Like, I mean, Kyle Busch has just been terrible in this track type. Only 8 fast laps in those 3 races that I mentioned, and he started inside the top 10 in all 3 of those. So we talked about how much of an advantage is to start inside the top 10. Still didn't show speed. Started on the front row here in the spring and only got 4 fast laps out of that, even with that advantage on the front row. Average running position of 13.7. It's going to be very hard for me to go to Kyle Busch at this price tag without seeing something truly spectacular out of him in practice.
All right. Well, he's right behind Harvick there on the betting lines. He is someone that people seem to like this week. He's plus 12,000 to win, or sorry, 1,200 to win, and plus 120 to finish in the top 5 there. Seems to be another guy that people are high on, and it's interesting to take here. But that's why they're the drivers to watch, right? We got to watch how they perform this week and see how they're going to go into our lineups. All right, Ryan, your turn. Leave the best for last that we're going to do here, or what's your mindset?
To piggyback on that with Jason, yeah. Busch is not a good play this week. Like fundamentally, it's just not good. When he told me that's who he was picking as his top tier driver to watch, I was a little worried. Jason nailed it. Like Kyle Busch, not good on the track type. And Austin Dillon was going to be someone I considered for my mid tier. I think he's a mid tier driver. He might have been actually 6.9 or 6.8, so he's actually a value tier. But I just couldn't get behind it. These RC are so bad on this track type right now. So. Completely agree with Busch. Not interested in that at all. And interestingly, like Byron's like $600 cheaper than Busch on DraftKings, which is massive, man. It just doesn't make any sense coming off of 100 lap, Dominator leading performance, whatever. Anyways, we talked about it. Dominator points, laps led, super crucial in a race like this. I actually think that the prices are a little bit lower than they should be. You got a guy that's plus 450 right now to win this race, and he's only 11,000. That's Martin Truex. Typically, when you got a guy that's plus 450 at a track with 400 laps, we see these guys at 11,400, 11. Like we see these prices a little bit higher, and that's not the case right now. So I actually feel like this is kind of a discount off what he should be. But Martin Truex has led 80 laps in 9 of the last 13 Richmond races. 80. He's led 56 laps here in the spring as well. So there's a 10th Dominator performance there as well. He's on a roll right now. He's absolutely the best driver and car in the series. So everything's pointing towards him, doing well. He has 3 wins and 7 top 5s in his last 9 starts here at Richmond. It's as good as you get. And Martin Truex, like Kevin Harvick, like a few others, Denny Hamlin, are great at long run speed. I think Martin Truex is the best in the series. I think he's the guy that can maintain his tires on the long run the best. And I think right now, whereas in the spring, I thought HMS was a little bit ahead on the short track package, I think JGR is now ahead of them. I think Truex is, quite frankly, a better driver than most of those guys on the long run, in which we will get plenty of this race. And I think Truex, once again, racks up the fast laps, racks up some laps led, and will be in contention for the win.
Speed that team like it. The speed that team has showed coming into this track, man, it's hard. I mean, if you're not playing Truex,
450 though, when's the last time we've seen that in the Cup Series? That's
right.
I mean, everyone
not
knows
only that
right now.
minus 425 to finish top 10 as well. Like
that's value.
That is what that's a 92% implied or something like that. My math is off right now, but like that's a very high implied probability to do so. That's something you got to definitely look out for as well. But with that rounds out our top tier drivers. Let's go towards our mid tier drivers to watch. And we said save the best for last. So we're going to start with Ryan.
Yes.
Who is your mid tier driver to watch this week?
Get to go again. So Aric Almirola. So I think we're all going to kind of give some Stewart-Haas here. He gave Harvick. Mark gave Harvick. I'm going to Almirola. First off, 7,300. So the price tag's at the bottom end of this mid tier area, which is going to allow me to pay up for another Dominator, hopefully. 19th most expensive on the slate. He's finished 17th or better in 11 of 13 right here, 11 of the last 13. So he's outrunning this 19th highest priced driver tag, if you want to look at it that way. That includes 5 top 10s, which is really good. He's been top 15 in 5 of the last 6 here. So lots of good performances. He's ninth in average finish at this track all time, and that's better than Jimmy Johnson, Martin Truex, and William Byron. To give you context of his consistency and his ability to get solid finishes here. 7,300, I feel like he's the guy that you can round out lineups with and hopefully get a top 15 finish. That's probably what you're looking for. If he gets a top 10, fantastic. The real question mark will be, where does he qualify? If he qualifies like 6th, 7th, 8th, I'm going to be very nervous. Probably won't want to play him. You can be like Cooper and be like, yeah, that's value. Like he's 8% owned. Let's do it. I'm not one of those guys. But in the spring, he qualified 32nd, was a huge place differential play, got a good score. And anything 20th on back, I think he's a guy that can finish top 15, get a good score, and round out a lineup well.
Sounds good to me, and it sounds like we might have ourselves a little trend here. Jason, who's your mid-tier driver to watch? Are you sticking on that Haas side of things, or are you going somewhere different?
Yeah, I mean that's a great pick here. We have been hammering Stewart-Haas Racing on the short flat tracks, all year. I feel like, and we're going to keep doing that here. I haven't had a chance to really talk about this Stewart-Haas driver yet this year. I've been hammering, Almirola, been able to talk about Priest, but I'm going to talk about Chase Briscoe this time at 7,100. No doubt, this has not been the year that this 14 team planned on when they head out into 2023 after their deep playoff run last year. It's been a disappointment, right? But the one bright spot still for Chase Briscoe this year has been these short flat tracks, very similar to the bright spot last year, right? His average finish of 9.67 on them this season is tied for the 4th best in the series. He's managed to do this while also handicapping himself to start each race with an average starting position of 23rd. So he's provided himself with a consistent source of PD on a track type where it's been kind of hard to find it. There's been a combined 8 races in the next gen car at Richmond, Phoenix, and New Hampshire. And in them, Briscoe has 1 win, 2 top 5s, 4 top 10s, and has only finished outside the top 15 one time in those 8 races. So Chase Briscoe for $7,100. He gets top 10 upside and the potential for probably going to bring some position differential to the table. Love him for $7,100 this week.
There you go. It seems like we are continuing a trend right there. I like to play. There's some good mid-tier drivers to watch. And as we always say, we're watching them. We still got a long way to go. All right, Mark, you waited the whole turn. It's come to you. Get back-to-back picks. You were going mid-tier driver, value-tier driver. We're talking about a couple drivers mid-range that have followed a trend here. Who are you going with for your mid-tier driver to watch?
Yeah, I'm going a little bit more expensive than these guys have been going in the mid to low 7,000. I'm going up to 8,600 and Brad Keselowski. And I felt like last year when both RFK cars were running well, it was like their breakout race. Like, wow, RFK has been so bad. And then they come to Richmond and they're both running inside the top 10. They got some great TV time. Shout out sponsors. But in all seriousness, the last 16 races that Brad Keselowski has been in at Richmond, his worst finish is 15th, which is bonkers to me. I thought that was a crazy stat. And over his career, he's got a couple wins here. I'm not saying to go out and bet him to win, and I don't expect him to win, but I do expect a solid finish. And he hasn't been the greatest qualifier here. Qualified 24th here in the spring, finished 10th. Has scored a lot of stage points, so I know he's running inside the top 10 throughout these races at Richmond. If you look at speed rankings from just this year on short flats, if you take out Gateway, which is not the same package that we're coming to with Richmond this weekend where he had a mechanical issue, he has the 7th best short flat track speed ranking. He had 8th at Phoenix, 9th at Richmond, and 9th again at New Hampshire. I once again, I don't look at Brad to go out there and finish top 3 to go out there and win the race. But if I can get a 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th place finish from Brad, I'm happy. And once again, like you guys have been saying, it's a driver to watch. So if he does qualify, 22nd, 25th, 27th, I am all over Brad Keselowski this weekend.
Okay, there we go. And we're filling out all aspects of that range.
I think Brad's a guy that can get fast laps too. Like we talking about a veteran, good on long runs, good, understands how to do this. He's a guy that I could see double-digit fast laps. His team, like Mark said, has had plenty of speed on this track type all year. So I think that could be a really sneaky third dominator, third option in your lineups. Brad definitely has top 5 equity. I mean, 100% has, everything we've seen all year on this track type. Phoenix, he shows a bad result, but he was a top 5 car or borderline top 5 car. Great at New Hampshire. Like he's just been good everywhere on short flat track. So yeah, I think that's a very, very good sneaky play. I don't think he'll be popular. Maybe he will. Maybe I'm wrong. I usually am, but I think that could be a great sneaky play to throw out there for sure.
Yeah, speaking of fast laps with Brad, 2.25% fast laps on the 3 Richmond races in the next gen car. So that's even with his new team. So yeah, been able to put down fast laps. Average position 7.9, which is like 4th or 5th best on short flats this year, which is also 3 spots better than his average finish. So just haven't been able to finish. He's had the speed all year. I actually hit him at plus 3,000 to win only because I want to root for Brad Keselowski this weekend. So
hey, he's down to plus 2,200 now. Even money.
Cash out. Cash out.
Cash it out.
All right, well, we're going to stick with you, Mark. We're going now to your value tier driver to watch too, and you're getting the boys on the panel to agree with you. You think they're going to agree with this one too?
Oh, I don't know about that. Well, okay. First, before I give my pick, I'm looking at the prices with these guys down at the bottom. The stars or the what is it? The slugs? No, what's the
Scrubs?
the scrubs. Yeah. How did I forget that? I mean, we're looking at some scrubs here, like AJ Allmendinger, Justin Haley. They are so bad. These colored cars are so bad at Richmond historically. Austin Cindric, what are we going to get? Are we going to get a 15th place car, a 12th place car? Are we going to get a 28th, legitimately 28th place car? Don't want anything to do with him. Harrison, Burton, LaJoy, Gilliland, Gregson, kind of all in the same there. I just don't want anything to do with him. Harrison Burton has had some upside this year, but I'm going with Michael McDowell, and he finished 6th here in the spring, and that's probably about the only good stat that I'm going to throw out at you. But I mean, the last couple years, I know he made the playoffs. He won the 500, or maybe that was 2 years ago. Anyway, the last couple of years, this 34 team has run better than advertised, better than they should, quote. And I just, the way that I landed on Michael McDowell is because I just am not buying anybody else in this range. I mean, not even, we can go up to, Eric Jones, 6,300, Ryan Preece, maybe 6,900. I don't want any part of Austin Dillon at 6,700, but I wouldn't mind the upside of Michael McDowell. Okay. He's got a okay average running position for 17.9 on comp tracks this year. And that also includes a little bit of Richmond last year, but I'm just looking for a qualifying effort in the mid to high 20s and a 12th to 15th place result, and I will be happy playing Michael McDowell.
Okay, a solid overview breakdown of the entire bottom slate there. And you mentioned a lot of the names now.
Everyone sucks.
Jason, you got to make sure you pick one of those guys that doesn't suck. Did you manage to do that?
Well, if you have the same attitude as Mark and you really don't like any value, this is definitely a week where you can just punt all the way down, right? You can punt to the really cheap guys, right? You don't have to play these guys. If you just want to play a guy that's not going to kill you so you can get to the high dollar guys that can, carry your team, that's definitely in a play. But he kind of threw some shade at my boy here.
Don't take it personal.
He threw shade at mine too. So
my value play is going to be Harrison Burton here.
That's
right?
fine.
Coming off of his second top 10 of the season, the confidence, has been starting to build for, a young Harrison Burton. If you take out road courses and super speedways, Burton has not finished worse than 23rd in 6 straight races, a stretch that started at Darlington with his first top 10 of the season. So, right, talk about a little bit of a tear here he's on, right? Now he's coming back to a track that he has ran well at in the past. He has got 2 top 20s and 3 career starts at Richmond, which includes a 19th there earlier this season. He finished 20th the last time we were at this track type a couple weeks ago at New Hampshire. No one's been playing him recently, and he's returned solid value the last 2 weeks at a 4% ownership. So I think Harrison Burton could be sneaky value yet again this week.
All right, I don't mind it there. Who cares about the shade, right? If Mark's gonna go out there and throw shade, maybe other people are too. You get some lower ownership.
I actually had him in a couple lineups at Darlington with that top 10 finish and won me a good bit of money. I don't mind the Harrison Burton play. It just reminds me of Austin Cindric, and I know it's ironic they have an alliance, but
listen, I'm about to get on Cindric in a second.
Hold on. Let me finish. It's like are we gonna finish? It's the same thing as Kyle Busch, that what Jason was talking about earlier. Is he gonna have a top 3 car, or is he gonna have a 15th place car? Are Cindric and Harrison Burton gonna have a 25th place car? Or we've seen a few times this year that they're extremely capable of running inside the top 12 to 15.
6 straight races of 23rd or better. Did you not hear that?
I heard it. I got it.
All right. Well, you kind of spoiled what Ryan's going to do here now too. So Ryan's going to go out here and I'm going to still ask the same question.
Can I just shit on McDowell now?
Yeah, I'm all for it. Bring it on.
But we got our boy Fast Cars Fast Money in the chat saying, "Hey, 4K range. We going that low?"
Yeah.
No. So the biggest thing about Richmond is, one, mechanical grip is king, and then also driver ability is king. So those back tier drivers just don't stand a chance. Those lower teams just are too far off the pace, and that's a big issue for like a Ty Dillon or that type of play because their upside's so capped. Some tracks they can get to 26th, 27th, and then with a few wrecks, it's like, wow, they're 23rd. Richmond's not like that. We don't see a lot of carnage. We don't see a lot of DNFs. We don't see ways for those guys to really move up. So I'm not into anyone in those backmarker cars. McDowell played the strategy right here in the spring. I'll get to it. He played the strategy right here in the spring. Him and Josh Berry were about 24th place cars. They went super long, caught the caution at the right time, and were able to finish up towards the front. That was a very good strategy call.
Did you not see Josh Berry's fast lap total? What are you talking about?
Anyways, you're one of those people that like sheets probably too. Anyways, before that, those previous 5 races with McDowell, his average finish is 27th, right? That team front row is another team that has struggled here for mechanical grip. They just struggle for speed. That's a worry for me. So in any of those back teams, at 6K and under, most of them are third-tier teams or just back markers, right? And they don't have the speed. There's 2 drivers that are with elite teams that should come in with cars capable of top 15 finishes. Will they get them? I don't know. Harrison Burton's one of them. The other is Austin Cindric. Yes, Austin Cindric will often underperform. He is a underperforming machine this year. But I know the upside is a top 15 finish. I know what he can give me on speed should be a good finish. And I'm chasing that upside, right? The whole purpose of a tournament is chase the upside, chase the fastest guys. So I'm going to chase the speed of those Penske cars and hope that they work out. I don't really want to get sucked into hoping that Noah Gragson decides to not be a 30th place car this week. I don't want to hope that JJ Ely happens. I need to find something that's going to deliver speed. Now, the driver has to finish it off, right? But I feel like those guys have a better shot of, one, staying on the lead lap through the first stage. If they start 22nd, 23rd, they're more likely to stay on the lead lap than Noah Gragson starting 30th or some guy starting further back. That's the first big thing. And secondly, if they can maintain the lead lap into that final stage, pull a strategy call, they can do what McDowell did and finish top 10. McDowell, a lot of those teams, as long as they're on the lead lap at the end, they have a chance. And I feel like Austin Cindric will give me a very good opportunity for that.
All right. I don't mind. Dustin asked me where Yuki is for the value. We don't got him this week, unfortunately. He's over there. Is there an F1 race this week?
Yep.
Never mind.
Maybe.
He is there this week.
Depends on how much rain there is.
Rain, go away. All right. Well, with that, guys, those are our drivers to watch. We get down to the race winners, and you're thinking, all right, snake draft all the way around should be Ryan's turn. No. Guest first. Mark, talk to me about your race winner. And the best part about this is Ryan can't steal your race winner, so you're taking off the board here.
Yeah. By the way, you guys can throw shade at me, my drivers. You guys can throw shade all you want. Bring it on. I'm going way outside the box this week, and I'm going with a Ford and Ryan Blaney at 22-1. It's on Barstool. I believe he opened at 25, which I just think is the craziest thing that I've ever seen. So let's talk through it. Let's talk numbers. Keep up if you can. I'm going to rattle a bunch of them off. So he finishes second at Phoenix. I know late race caution. Still finished second. 26th at Richmond won, but he had a much, much better car than that. He started 17th. He drove inside the top 10 before the comp caution, 30 laps in. Ended up finishing 11th in stage 1, had a speeding penalty, went to the back, drove through the field before the next green flag pit cycle into the top 15. And his speed ranking doesn't show it. His average running position is obviously not going to show it. His finish is not going to show it, but he drove through the field twice. So he drives through the field, one pit cycle into the top 15. And then he had the infamous wrench left in the back window and had to go to the back again. Now he's 2 laps down. Now his race is over. The books are looking at his finishes, and he finished 22nd at New Hampshire a couple weeks ago, but he absolutely had a top 5 car. He finished top 5 in both the stages. He ran very well at Gateway. He finished 7th at Martinsville. He could have easily swept the top 10 on short flats this year. He led 100 and something laps at the race last year in the summer. So I think Blaney should be more of the Logano price, maybe like a 13-1, a 15-1, even in 16, 18-1. I really think that's where he belongs. So a little bit of window shopping, as well as he has had very fast cars at similar tracks, and even at Richmond 1 this week. However, no stat will tell you that he had a fast car. So I'm going big this week. Usually I stay within the top 5 to 6, 7 drivers. I think the books most of the time get it right, but this week I'm going Blaney.
Hey, you did your job. He's plus 1,600 on Bodog Bovada, the one that I have open right now in front of me. So good odds there. Seems like some money's coming in your way as well, which always is a good sign for you there. So you did your job. I like the long shot play. And hey, Ryan knows that plus 2,200 number is good for us, right? Bubba Wallace back last year. Hey, we
SVG a few weeks ago.
Oh, yeah. All right. We're looking to predict another race winner here.
I love that.
All right, and we're going to do so. Next up, we do have Jason, and you got to go back to back here. And for this one, the press is out here. We're going to make sure that we got the banner scrolling in the bottom, just in case you get a nice little recording clip for this one as well. You go out here, get back to back winners. Who is that race winner going to be this week?
Let's try to go for back to back here. I don't mind the Ford call there by Mark. If you look at last year at Richmond, they showed up in the summertime a lot better. Right. I think you look at average position, if you look at the top 7 average position, they made up 5 of those positions. So definitely had a lot faster speed. Those Fords did. But I'm not going to go for a Ford. It's going to be a hot, slick track on Sunday, right? We're going to have temperatures up in the 90s. We've been talking all summer. We've been riding the Toyotas. The track gets hot. It gets slick. It's going to be hard to imagine a scenario where we do not see a Toyota in victory lane this Sunday with the conditions that we have, especially with all the speed we've seen out of them in the summertime. I, however, will not be going with the favorite choice of Truex or even the step down in Denny. I'm going with the Gibbs driver that has the best average position on this track type in 2023 that in that JGR stable, and that's going to be Christopher Bell. His 6.87 average position is third to only the Hendrick Motorsports duo of Byron and Larson on this track type. This is always a track type that you have to pay attention to Bell at. Short flat tracks has been his thing in his career. If you look at New Hampshire, he opened up as a huge favorite, right? Plus 450. I think he opened up to that. And for some reason, he opens up as the 7th favorite here at Richmond at plus 900. I don't understand that at all, especially when you look at New Hampshire. It didn't go as planned, but he still had a ton of speed, just ran into trouble the whole race. Had one of the fastest cars. What killed him there, what's killed him all season, right? It's the mistakes. It's not the lack of speed. Bell's performances at Richmond in his young career have been equally as impressive to when you look at, his New Hampshire starts. Though he doesn't have a win, he does have 3 top 5 and has only finished worse than 6th once in, I think, 5 career starts here at Richmond. If you look at best average finish in the next gen car here, he has an average finish of 4th, which is second to only Kevin Harvick. I think a lot of things, everybody's going to be focusing on those other Gibbs cars. I like the value here that Christopher Bell provides at plus 900.
You should tell the real reason you picked Bell, though.
A B, B, and B, right? I picked all Bs. If you look, Busch, Burton, now Bell, and who was Briscoe. So yeah, I wanted
the killer Bs.
The killer Bs.
I was talking with Ryan, and I'm on all Fords, which I have been bashing Fords all year long. I mean, just dogging them. And I find myself this week just all over a couple of them.
Oh, it's a good week to be on short flats or when you can be on the Fords, I feel like.
So comment here from Dustin over here. What you got to say about that one? Let's talk about Bell.
Yeah, look at that.
Small sample size.
Yeah.
Small, but just like what Jason was saying, I mean, I was talking early about short flat track guys. Bell is the guy that comes to mind when you think about short flats. I mean, I'm looking at some speed rankings here: 4th at Phoenix, 3rd at Richmond, 7th at New Hampshire, and that number could have been way lower had he not had all those mistakes. So love the Bell pick this week.
All right, Mr. Larkin saving the best for last once again. Apparently, let's keep that streak going. Who is your race winner this week?
So initially, it was Martin Truex Jr. And then I saw plus 450. And I said, I'm not giving anyone out this plus 450. I'm not that much of a chalk donkey. I don't do that. However, the last 2 weeks, we've given out the favorite to win the race, and they have won. So the favorite has hit 2 weeks in a row. I think Truex is very likely. I'm going to get myself a little bit better odds at plus 650 and go Denny Hamlin. I don't really need to say a lot here. I think it's all kind of been covered. But second, first, fourth, and he should have won here in the spring. Pit crew screwed him. Like an 18-second green flag pit stop absolutely annihilated his situation in his race lead. I just feel like he's the best at this track in general. He's finished 6th or better in like 13 of the last 15 races. Just something asinine. I just feel like Denny Hamlin's going to be the guy. Truex is really, really – I like his upside for DFS. I think his lap lead upside is probably a little bit better than Hamlin. But when it comes to lap 400, I think Denny Hamlin's going to be the guy. And if I'm going to put money on someone, that's going to be the one right now.
Sounds good to me. And with that, guys, 40 minutes in, we have covered all our drivers to watch, the track type, the lineup construction, and our race winners. We're going to end it with a little Gordo segment here. I got a personal question for you guys. It is related to racing. Either of you guys can answer this one, but for those who don't know, I'm a newer racing fan, but I did catch the entire race last weekend, and it felt like there was a ton of animosity, just like a ton of just people beefing with each other. What are the odds of any, I don't want to say intentional, but any, hard racing, intentional wrecks this week?
I'll start. I mean, I first of all, back to last week, there was so much good stuff. I mean, Austin Dillon throwing a helmet, Ryan Preece dogging LaJoy, obviously, Larson and Hamlin. We had Logano cussing out their track workers. Great stuff. Really, really, truly great stuff. As for intentional wrecking, I'm gonna say no, but I want the answer to be yes. And I don't mean intentionally wrecking. I mean just a bumper, get him up the track. If he spends, right? I think that's great for the sport. I hate it for my pocket and my wallet when it comes to playing fantasy and gambling. But my answer, unfortunately, is going to be no. But the fan in me and the numbers and ratings guy would love nothing more than some beef this week.
Yeah, and you never expect it too much, but it felt like there was a ton of just these these fighters at the end of their emotions, and I thought that was a genuine question to ask.
Well, it is. I don't know. So we've seen 2 people suspended in the last year for right hooking other drivers. Now, right hooking someone on a straightaway at Vegas, is different. It's a different move. I don't know. I don't know what NASCAR will do. If NASCAR said you can go in there and get someone in the rear and turn them around at Richmond and they're fine with that, then I think there's a good possibility it happens. There's plenty of people pissed off right now. Not just the 4 that we saw last week, but other stuff from the past couple of months. There's some rivalries going on. So I would love to see it. I would love to see someone go in there and ship someone into turn 1 and say, I'm pissed at you. This is what you get. That to me is what you should do. When someone's wronged you, you send them into the wall. Like if I'm Kyle Larson, Hamlin would be ass deep into turn 1. He wouldn't have a car left to run. Like that's what I would do though. Like that's just how I feel like it should be handled. How else do you handle it?
Jason seems to think differently.
So I want to see that happen. I want to see someone say, listen, I'm tired of getting wrecked. Ryan Preece, hello. You've been wrecked 3 weeks in a row. Step up, put someone in the wall.
Jason, you seem to oppose.
I just think you race them hard. Like I don't think you need to intentionally drive through somebody in the corner. I don't think Richmond's really a track where we're going to see it. I don't think we're going to see anything like that this week at Richmond. But I mean, it's crazy because I feel like these guys get all pissed off, but like they all do the same shit. I'm sorry.
Oh, they all do it.
They all do it. It's like we have this conversation every time we want to Denny Hamlin is so dirty now. Which the dirty Denny stuff. I love that we done the dirty Denny last week and then he came out and was actually dirty this week. So that's beautiful. But it's even not that dirty, right? These guys, that's what happens when you put these guys in a box where they gotta win these races, and that's what we want, right? That's what we want as fans. We want these guys to push as hard as possible for that win. We won't want them lifting coming out of turn 2 when the win's on the line. We want them to stay in the throttle, right? That's what we want.
Oh, if I didn't have Larson, I wouldn't be mad at all.
Yeah, that's what fans want to see, right? And that's what I think every single driver in the field is going to do the same thing Denny did. I mean, we've seen Larson do it. We've seen Chastain. That's why I just love because Chastain got so much shit. But everybody does it. Like Logano does it. Byron does it. Hamlin.
No one's been in more crashes than Kyle Larson over the last year.
You put any 2 guys on the front row with 5 laps to go, somebody's going to do something stupid. They're going to push the envelope for the win. It's just a given. That's what we want to see. That's what NASCAR created, right?
Hey, well,
I'm still wrecking the shit out of someone.
Well, we'll leave it to the UFC guy to ask about intentional wrecking. It is not helping my look there. It seems to be what I'm interested in, but still, it was an interesting week last week. Let's hope we get some more entertainment and another solid week. But 44
It
minutes
was
in,
a fun week for Pocono. It was definitely a fun weekend for Pocono. I will say.
And
that.
what a packed infield and grandstand they had, man.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
to see.
where's all those NASCAR's dead people at right now? NASCAR's been on a
I want it
roll.
all.
They've been on a
Put me in a
roll.
cage. Put me in the UFC cage. I want it.
It just goes to show
give me
you,
odds.
every track should have only one date. Like you should not be going to tracks twice. That place packed out. Pocono's always had a good crowd, but like it was a big event and it felt important. The race felt special to me, and they can build on that. Like they can make that race even bigger, and I feel like most races should be like that.
All right, but now that's going to do it for us here on the Daily Fan Racing YouTube channel. I'm going to quickly give everyone the mic, let everyone know where they can find them, including the Lay and Coin podcast with the bookmark down below. Tell us where they can find you and what you got going on this week.
Yeah, man, at Skybox NASCAR on Twitter. That's where I'm most active. We do the Lay and Coin podcast. We have a guest on most weeks. That usually comes out Wednesday night late or Thursday morning. And I also host a podcast for frontstretch.com called Through the Gears. It's a quick 25 to 30 minute heavy hitter, quick hitter, talk outrights, comp tracks, and a couple matchups. So that'll be out every Friday afternoon. And yeah, we got some good stuff in the work. We're going to announce a partnership here in the next few weeks. So the first started this podcast just over a year ago, and bringing on our first partner. So really cool stuff in the works, and I really appreciate you guys bringing me on.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure to meet you, and I appreciate your input here. It's been a fun show. Jason, I think you do something that's free or something. I don't know. Tell us about it.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, Mark. Yeah, it was definitely fun. Yeah, you guys can find my stuff over at Run Pure Sports every Sunday morning. Cheat sheets, articles. I have put my cores. I've banished my cores for the time being. They are no longer going to be posted because they are cursed. I realized, came to that conclusion. So until somebody can like show up at my house and burn some sage or exorcise the demons, I don't know. Decurse my cores, and I'll go back to them. But as of right now, it's just going to be cheat sheets, the break, but all the good stuff. I still give all my plays, still break it down. I just feel like anytime I put somebody at core, it's just they're destined to wreck. So no more of that stuff.
Hey, there we go. Whatever works, man. I'm a superstitious guy too. I won't be doing what I did last week, and when I lost my UFC bets, we're gonna stick something new. All right, Ryan. I know you got a bunch of stuff going on as well. I know you're a busy man, and you don't got much time for these 50-minute videos. So let the people know where they can find you.
Yeah, DailyFanRacing.com. We got coverage for all 4 DFS slates this weekend. Xfinity truck doubleheader on Saturday. We got F1, which is a sprint weekend. So there's qualifying tomorrow, sprint race on Saturday, and then the full slate on Sunday. And then, of course, Cup Series will have their mid-afternoon race on Sunday as well. So we'll have everything covered, full breakdowns, rankings, projections, me talking on podcasts for another 45 minutes or an hour for each one. But lots of stuff. Hopefully win some money again and do, rack them and go.
Sounds good to me. And on my end, like I said, I'm a UFC guy. So if you guys are here for NASCAR, I'm not your guy, but you can feel free to check me out on Twitter at GamblesGordo, on YouTube, Plays and Fade Sports. Got a full card breakdown for a massive pay-per-view this weekend, which should be fun. Other than that, it's final season coming up for me soon. So let's hope I can make it to the show the next couple of weeks. I think I'll be able to, prioritize school, NASCAR, you know where to find me. So I appreciate everybody for tuning in. I appreciate everybody. Make sure to hit the like button down below, subscribe to the channel, show some love to my 3 co-hosts this weekend, including our special guest at Skybox NASCAR on Twitter. I wish everyone the best luck this weekend. Like we said in the comments, cash those tickets. Best of luck and enjoy the race, guys. Peace.